Hey, how's it going? Shadow Steve here. How's it going? Shadow Steve here. Today I'm going to show you the movies, the books, and the games I've got involving this franchise, Star Wars. Because today is May the 4th, known as Star Wars Day. And I've been a huge fan of Star Wars since my dad took me to the cinema to watch the Star Wars original trilogy as the 997 version when I was a kid. And I actually kind of like it. Whether it's just the movies, the games, or the books, or anything in between, Star Wars has been part of my life since I was a kid. Even though my dad is a bit of a moron, for some reason, I'm actually thankful that he took me to the cinema to introduce me to Star Wars. And yes, I do love, well, the movies, like the prequels, to the sequels, to the originals, but I mostly prefer the original trilogy as much as I love the prequel trilogy. And the best show I watch? Well, that's completely complicated because I don't have a favorite Star Wars show at this stage, like The Clone Wars or Obi-Wan Kenobi or The Mandalorian. Yeah, I just don't have a favorite Star Wars TV show. But if I do have a favorite Star Wars movie, it's definitely The Empire Strikes Back. So let's get this over with. I have the Star Wars prequel trilogy. I got these from my mum for Christmas in 2005 when this movie was released in cinemas. Well, just months after it came out in the cinemas. Even though this is actually the best movie of the prequel trilogy, and I kept watching this movie on VHS and my mum's ex-partners over and over and over and over. Not saying it's my favourite or anything, but I actually like this one better as part of the prequel trilogy. I got this little Star Wars Heroes and Villains DVD from either the advertiser or Sunday Mail back in 2005, and it tells you the characters in this one. Yes, from the advertiser, not Sunday Mail. And that was the image from the Star Wars Battlefront 2 game. Here's a little disc to prove it. Yeah. It explains to you about the Star Wars characters from the original movies to the prequel movies. I have the 2006 version of A New Hope, which is actually the first movie of the Star Wars series. Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, which is Disney's first standalone Star Wars movie. I got the Clone Wars movie, 2 disc special edition. It's okay-ish. What else do I have? Alright, I also got the first movie of the Star Wars sequel trilogy, The Force Awakens. And this is the best movie of the Star Wars sequels. Not just on DVD, but I also got on Blu-ray. And I got The Last Jedi on DVD, which is sort of okay-ish. That's all the movies I've got so far. So let me show you the games I've got so far. I got Star Wars The Clone Wars Jedi Alliance on DS. Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga on DS. Lego Star Wars 3 The Clone Wars on 3DS. Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens on PS3. Star Wars Jedi Survivor on Xbox Series X. A couple of Star Wars games on Xbox One, Jedi Fallen Order and Battlefront. And I got the PS5 version of Jedi Fallen Order. I got Disney Infinity 3.0. Here are the Disney Infinity Star Wars figurines I've got in my collection from 2015 or 16. Haven't got that many, to be honest. I got a PS4 version of the Skywalker Saga, PS4 version of The Force Awakens, and I got the Wii version of the Complete Saga. I also got Star Wars Shadows of the Empire on Nintendo 64, and that's the first game I've got since my dad got me the N64. And I got Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, not just on the N64 from my mom's ex-partner, but I also downloaded it on Switch, and I downloaded it on my PS5, where I got a Platinum Trophy for the this version as a PS4 game. You might be able to see it, but I got Star Wars Game Boy version on Game Boy from my mom, and you can see the Game Trader's price tag on it. A couple of Star Wars games on Game Boy Advance, The Revenge of Sith and Lego Star Wars video game, both games came out in 2005. And not just that, I also downloaded Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace on my PS5. I used to play it on PS1 and my mum sets partners, so I can't remember how far I'm up to because it's really hard. I used to play Jedi Power Battles on PS1 and my mum sets partners, and that's a game I would love to see on PS5 as well as other platforms in the future. I used to collect toys as a kid, but they're like, I don't know, gone or like taken to op shops, or I don't know. I used to have toys like those comm things where you get to put your little figurines on the comms to hear what they say. I used to play some actual LEGO games like Palpatine, ship arriving at the Death Star. I used to play those when I was a kid. It was a lot of fun. And I used to have like a Obi-Wan Kenobi lightsaber where it vibrates. Well, my cousin has the Anakin Skywalker lightsaber where it changes from red to blue or blue to red. Because Anakin Skywalker is obviously Darth Vader. And the only Star Wars toy I have is a Darth Vader pop. And I got this at Zing Pop Culture in May the 4th, 2023 for Star Wars Day. And that's the first pop of the Star Wars series. Yeah, it's something like that. I got a lot of Star Wars books I've read before, and some of those on my TBR. I'm going to show you my TBR books first. Yeah, just we'll start with those ones. I got Jedi Academy Principal Strikes Back. Haven't got more of those, to be honest. I got Star Wars Rebel for Book 4, Uprising. No, it's Book 6, whoops. Yeah, Book 6. I need to get books 1 to 5 first. Jedi Apprentice, The Mark of the Crown. I used to read those from the library a long time ago. But I need to get more of these at shops soon. I got The Force Oversleeps. I need to get books 2, 3 or something like that. Yeah, I've only got book 1, but I need to get more of these before I get into this one or the one I showed you before. I got Star Wars Episode 1 Adventures. This is book number 4. This is book 4. I need to get books 1 to 3 first. That one is book number 6. And this one is book number 10. And here are the rest of my TBR. The Star Wars books, some of them are like canon, and those considered to be non-canon, but I don't really care what they are. They're just Star Wars books, for crying out loud. So I got Path of Deceit. I need to look it up properly. Books 2 and 3 of... Yeah, books 2 and 3 of the... What? The Last Command? Yeah, Thrawn Trilogy. These two books 2 and 3 of the Thrawn Trilogy. So I couldn't pronounce it correctly. Path of Vengeance, Midnight Horizon, and The Battle of Jeddah. And as I showed you for my short video, which you can have a look on YouTube or Bookstagram or TikTok, these are the Star Wars books I'm currently reading for the month of May. So I'm going to read, hopefully, The Last of the Jedi, The Desperate Mission, and that's book 1 of the series, which is set after the events of Revenge of the Sith. The Clone Wars, Warriors of the Deep, Quest for the Hidden City. This is book 1 of the Thrawn trilogy called Heir to the Empire. The prequel trilogy graphic novel. The Mandalorian, Volume 1. Catalysm. The what? Inquisitor, Rise of the Red Blade. And Return of the Jedi from a Certain Point of View. I got the manga versions of these Star Wars books. Guardians of the Wheels. The Legends of Luke Skywalker. And The Edge of Balance, Volumes 1 and 2. And I got this one at PAX in 2022. And I got this from QBD like years ago. More Lockdown, great book. I need to reread that soon. Dawn of the Jedi, Into the Void, Darth Plagueis. I got all these books at various op shops. The Phantom Menace. I used to read that book when I was a kid. When my mom got this from a school club or school book club or whatever you call it. Like one of those things where they show you what you want, like books or toys or anything like that. Depends on whatever you want, and sometimes the parent gives you money to go to the cash register to buy one of those. Yeah, I used to have those when I was a kid. Yeah. But I haven't got them anymore. But finally, I got this from like Salvos a couple of years ago. I'm so happy to have this on my Star Wars book collection. I used to read Attack of the Clones from the library like a long time ago, which is a good book. I haven't read those, but I managed to get them from op shops. So I got the junior novels of Revenge of the Sith, A New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. Got a junior novel of The Force Awakens, Rogue One, Star Wars Journal, Anakin Skywalker, Queen Amidala, Star Wars Rebels, Rise of the Rebels, which is book 1 of the series, based on the TV show, the first Star Wars Jedi Academy graphic novel, and the Clone Wars novel. Alright, that's all the optional books I've got. Now I got those from various shops like QVD or Big W or Target, came out a long time ago. Star Wars, the original trilogy graphic novel, the Star Wars trilogy book adaptation. Now I got 2 books involving a certain point of view. See? Star Wars, A New Hope from a certain point of view, and The Empire Strikes Back from a certain point of view. Out of the Shadows, Padawan, Ahsoka. I picked up a Star Wars A New Hope comic book or graphic novel at PAX in 2022. Race to Crash Point Tower, The Mandalorian Season 2 Junior Novel, Mission to Disaster, Season 1 Volume 1 graphic novel, well, as telesnaps from the actual show, Monster of Temple Peak, well, the Monster of the Temple Peak, X-Wing Mercy Kill, Test of Courage, The Mandalorian Season 1 Junior Novel, Heir to the Jedi, Star Wars Battlefront Twilight Company, Dooku Jedi Lost, Battlefront 2 Infernal Squad, The Rising Storm, Light of the Jedi, Master and Apprentice, Catalyst, a Rogue One novel, The Last Jedi novel, Brotherhood, The Fallen Star, Dark Disability, I couldn't pronounce it properly, but this is what it said, due to my disability, A New Dawn, Into the Dark, Before the Awakening, Jedi Battle Scars, Ronin, Convergence, The Princess and the Scoundrel, Phasma, Rogue One, Last Shot, The Rise of Skywalker, Canto Bight, The Force Awakens, Bloodline, Thrawn, The Aftermath Trilogy, Aftermath, Life Debt, and Empire's End. That's all the Star Wars books I've got, but I do have 2 more which aren't Star Wars, but involves how they work on Star Wars. So I got The Princess Dearest by the late Carrie Fisher, and it's really funny. And I got George Lucas A Life by Brian J. Jones, and it tells you on how George Lucas came up with the idea to make iconic movies like Star Wars and Indiana Jones. That's all the books, the games, and the movies I've got so far. And I told you what my favourite movie of the series is, so what's your favourite Star Wars movie? Let me know down in the comments below. you made this far, I got nothing to say. Just leave a... why just leave a book emoji, because I was showing you a lot of books. Or you can leave a control emoji because of the games. Or just leave a... I don't know, or you can leave an explosion emoji because of the explosions in Star Wars. You can hit like, subscribe if you haven't already, ring the bell to be notified of my latest videos. You can give me a follow on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Threads, and Letterboxd. And happy Star Wars Day.